All right, welcome to a new edition of King's Court with JJ. I got my buddy No with me.
What's up, everybody?
No. Oh, that only means trouble.
All the time.
What's going on, my friend?
Oh, whole lot of nothing. Dealing with allergies, like
Dealing with
everybody
allergies,
else
I
in San
know.
Antonio and South Texas.
Yeah, that is a Texas problem, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are Tejano fans,
Big time.
die hard, right?
Yeah, our fanfare, fiestas, favorite time of the years.
Favorite artist of all time, Selena,
Yes.
right? I mean,
Big.
we do
No,
have
I can't
our
see it.
Elidas and Stephanie Montiels and everybody else that we love to listen to.
Little Miss TNT.
Ah, Shelly Lies.
Yes.
Little
Why
Miss
not?
Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just get to it.
Let's do it.
The monkey in the Tejano world right now.
To say the least.
Selena and Yolanda. Oh my goodness. Selena and Yolanda. Let's just put it up there. I mean, if you watched it, you watched it. If you didn't, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Let's kind of just kick it off right here, right now, right?
Yeah,
Rip off the Band-Aid.
let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I mean,
there's so many things that you want to believe from her that you would. The clarification, right? Everybody wants to know the truth.
mm-hmm.
I think that's on my part. I thought that this two-part series was going to be her truth or the honest truth, not ratting her out and spitting the beans. And I feel like that's the whole two-part series that's pretty much what it was about. She very vaguely or said it so quickly towards the end of the second episode, what we all already knew. And I think we all believe that it's a lie, where she said, I put the gun to my head and the gun didn't go off. But as soon as she pointed it towards Selena, the gun went off.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't mean to do it. But the two-part series was all right. We kind of expected everything that came out on
I didn't really want to watch it, to be honest.
I
didn't want to watch it. I was a little leery because you're giving her the satisfaction of the doubt of watching it. And
yes. And the views, I think I heard so many people say, I don't want to watch it because she's going to get money off of this. Or
exactly.
It's going to make her even more famous than what she already is, especially in a negative aspect or negative view because of what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, I'm not going to watch it because it's going to be a view. And 1 + 1 is 2, and then it multiplies. And by the time you know it, but me, my whole thing, I just wanted to see what she wanted to say, what it was about. And
all these years
unfortunately,
later, because we never really heard from her, right?
yeah,
Like
almost 30
nobody knew
years.
who she was.
She was a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Selena made her somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ended up making herself a big nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
let's just kind of break down a little bit of the BS, so to speak, of these episodes. One, it's on right now again, so I have it on the TV.
Turn it off.
I know, right? Turn it off. I already seen it. More views.
Just put it on mute.
I think I get a little more upset every time, like as I look at it a little bit more, because now it's like, oh, okay, let me tell you this, or let me deal with this. One, the people that came out of it, oh, I fear for my life, or I feel like this is gonna. Then why did you do it?
You know, when you hear her niece come out and say nobody knew who that I was related to her right off the bat. Nobody knew I
Mm-hmm.
was related to her. What were you hiding? Were you hiding, you actually getting to know, or you actually being related to her to keep the peace? Did you hide it to get a job?
Mm-hmm.
Or, what were you hiding? What
Yeah.
was the point of you hiding your relation to her? That's what
Mm-hmm.
I started to think as, I was watching it. And she kind of comes on, I think, what is it, like 5 minutes in?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it- sh her tears were not sincere. Her emotion may have been a little sincere, or probably like she didn't think that she was going to be as emotional making this documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of all hit her. But I didn't believe her one bit.
Yeah. I mean, even the niece, um, that comes out, Tina, I think was her name or something like that.
Hmm.
You you didn't want nobody to know that that was your aunt or whatever. You
Hmm.
make this documentary and you're in the middle of it because you're the one going to the storage, you're the one pulling out all this evidence, or so to speak evidence.
There's like cases of it.
Yeah, I mean, if if this really was a case, why wasn't it ever in court? Not that we know if it was or whatever,
Hmm.
but I mean, it still comes down to the fact she went and bought the gun, and let's just put it out there, she didn't buy it one time, she
Like
bought a
two
gun
times.
twice,
The same
like
one.
the
The
same
same
gun.
revolver. Yeah.
Like, she admitted she took the gun back and then bought it again,
Hmm.
and the second time is when she actually used it.
Yeah.
I mean, why did you buy a gun? Like the guy said, you either buy a gun for protection, that you're gonna kill somebody, or you're gonna go
Hmm.
hunting.
The detective,
And
I think the detective did a really good job, and I kind of feel like they might have hated him, if not even more than they already did.
mm-hmm,
Because throughout the whole two-part series, he didn't believe anything that she was saying, like not a word.
yeah,
And he kept saying, like, it's a lie. Oh, it's a lie. It's a lie. That's a lie. She's a liar.
mm-hmm.
We didn't discuss that in her case, or it never came out in the case, or whatever the case may be. So I feel like his part in this documentary was more on the Quintanilla side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did read in the end to where they're like, well, they reached out to Abraham, but he didn't. He made one statement that she was a liar.
I wouldn't even want to be. I wouldn't even call them. Like,
It's
it's already
crazy
done with.
how she had the balls to do, or she had somebody reach out to him and actually think that he was gonna partake in not one but a two-piece series.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that just didn't make sense either. And the lady from Univision, I mean, you're in the news. To me, your job is to be not so biased, but
mhm.
put out the facts. I don't know if she
He
still has a job at Univision, but for her to say
probably
she's,
not.
huh?
Probably not.
I don't know how you do, but for her to say she's even threatened by Mr. Quintanilla, like, come on, lady.
She said something. What did she say? She said,
He's
he's
intimidating.
scary, intimidating.
Yeah. Like,
That he's intimidating.
I
He
feel
does look like an
threatened by him.
intimidating man, but would I feel threatened by that man? I wouldn't know. I never met him. But
No.
offhand, no, probably not. I think he has a strong personality. That makes a big difference. But to say that you feel threatened by him, no.
I mean, you have a multi-million dollar empire to run. Um, your daughter was shot by a fan.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I would be protective too, but to, it has nothing to do with them. Like, it has nothing to do with the family at all. This is Yolanda making up lies. And my thing is, what does she really do it for? Did she do it because she wants to look good to the parole board?
Yeah.
Or what's the whole point 25 years later? You've
So
already been in jail. you're
almost 30 years. Yeah.
you're probably not gonna get out. And if you do, heaven help you. Like, eh,
Her
trust me, that
niece
those
had
piñatas
said,
that they make of her may not
yeah,
be a piñata anymore.
it's she's not really well, I don't think she's a fan year round, or a fan of anybody's, but around when she got murdered, they start bringing out or whipping out those piñatas of her. Um, yeah, that's funny.
I mean, I even saw one just the other day on Facebook. Somebody had a birthday party, and you know, her in her little white jumpsuit. Somebody
Hmm.
had a picture. I mean, it's like, it, no, no, mm-mm.
They should have made if she. It's funny. I wonder who thought of the title that they were going to use coming out with this series,
Mm-hmm.
because it feels like she talked about Selena, but it was more of her dad, so she should have named it Yolanda and the Quintanillas, or Yolanda and Selena's family, or you know what I mean? Like it was, she did talk about Selena and say I was her friend and I was dedicated to her and I didn't want to leave her and this and that, whatever the case may be. But she talked about Abraham, majority of the series.
Mm-hmm.
She talked about Selena's infidelity. She talked about all her the secrets. Yeah, that's kind of what I think the whole point of it was, just to kind of give backlash over all the years of the pain and suffering that she's had while she's in jail. And she did mention on there where she didn't get really much air because everybody threatened her or she was at risk of, getting killed, getting beat up, things of that nature. So the title just off the bat, after you watch these two episodes of the series, you can that's another thing too. It's like, okay, well, all you did was talk about her dad and how much you were terrified of him and how much he scared you, and it wasn't even about Selena or majority of why you killed her again.
Mm-hmm. And nobody's ever gonna know the exact truth. We're never gonna get the truth. I don't even care to really know it, but to hear like all these dates and, oh, Selena and I went here on March 13th and March 11th, and she called me on this date after supposedly she was fired or whatever. I don't really care, but what was kind of weird was hearing the voicemail calls
Yeah,
of Selena's voice. Like that was kind of weird. Um the multiple calls, but how do we know exactly when that took place? Like that.
the only thing that they like. I remember back in the day when had the whole tape recording things and the little
Mhm.
tapes, the ones that they were using in these episodes, where the automated thing would come out, February 2nd, 9:50 something a.m.
Mhm.
And then you hit beep, and then you hear the recording, end of message, and blah blah blah, whatever. That was never played. That I think that should have been played, and
If
if
it's
it was,
true.
if it's true, and if it was on the tape, you should have played it because all they did was write it in on the screen,
Mhm.
the dates.
Yeah, I just or the checks that Yolanda wrote to herself, for 200, $300 and then cashed them and then saying that Selena made her do it.
Hmm.
If Selena was so terrified of her dad, I, I don't think she would have lied to him. And I mean,
Well, supposedly she was supposed to be using those checks to get tickets to go to
mhm,
Mexico to see that doctor.
yeah,
They do give like a little confession or him admitting, like, oh yeah, I had love for her, she had love for me, this and that, blah blah blah. But did you see that, man?
yeah. The first time he said he didn't have anything to do with her, and then 15 years later or 20 years later, now he's saying, yeah, I did love her.
2012. I loved her, she loved me. We were meant to be together.
Mm-hmm.
BS.
I don't see her messing around on Chris.
Yeah, not with that man.
No, no, not at all.
He
Like,
was a plastic surgeon and he should have consulted with another one to have plastic surgery.
Help himself out. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do your face first before we work on anybody else. And that was in 2012. So 12 years later, I can already imagine what he looks like now. If he's, well, they said they tried to reach out to him to get a statement from this
Mhm.
documentary, and he didn't reach out back. So,
You know, some of the stuff I did kind of feel bad is when like they went and revisited the boutique here in San Antonio.
hmm
I went to that boutique. I purchased stuff in there. I've been in there. Um, that is kind of weird. It would have been kind of creepy
yeah,
seeing that. I actually you and well, I don't know if it's you. Is it your brother? We Uber every once in a while. And I actually took somebody there not too
I
long ago.
Uber, yeah.
And it was kind of weird. Like you pull in and you're like, damn, like this is now part of a city building. But
Is that what
this
they made
is
it into now?
yeah. Yeah. It's part
Mm,
of a building for the city, part of the witty or something like that. But you know, that's where it was kind of creepy. You know, seeing that's where I felt sorry for the niece, you
yeah,
know, walking it because it's true, you know, not only did we all lose Selena, some people lost a friend.
yeah,
And you know, that's a whole thing. If she was really your best friend and you did anything for her, why do you even point a gun at somebody?
yeah. I thought the same thing. You know, when she was over here saying towards the end of the second episode, finally, what everybody already knows. You know what? Like I said earlier, she she finally said supposedly what happened within the last. Well, I think they said it was 5 minutes of them arguing.
Mhm.
She said on the documentary they say that one of the maids heard her call her a bitch,
Mhm.
or either when she got shot, or shortly after she got shot,
After.
or it's like a few seconds after she got shot. So everybody supposedly didn't hear that, just that one maid.
Mhm.
But she did say, Yolanda, after she put the gun to her head, Yolanda, don't, I can't do it. I can't deal with this, or something like that. And that's when she opened the door and she was going to leave. And she's like, don't leave. And then she said that she pointed the gun at her, and then the gun went off. Um, but kind of going back to your comment about the boutique, her, I felt like, I felt like, um, her emotions were sincere, because
Mhm.
again, I don't think that she kind of thought that she was going to get emotional with it until you start doing the documentary, and you're live on camera or whatever, and they're recording, and you break down because you don't expect to have those emotions, or it's not in your plan to get emotional.
Mhm.
I kind of feel like that was sincere.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's why
Eh,
I said I felt sorry for her because man, just watching that, you know, you start to remember, "Hey, man, I remember when I went to the boutique," or, "Hey, I remember seeing," because they showed some old pictures, and I'm like, "Damn,
mhm.
like, I remember that picture," or, "I remember," you know?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, even when the nephew talked about, like, how old he was and where he was, um, do you remember where you were when you found out?
I remember. God, this is a long time ago.
Well, I know it
Uh,
was a long time ago.
I remember I was 5 years old.
Wow. I feel old now.
Um, I that's why when you were talking about the boutique, I've never been in the boutique.
Uh-huh.
So, but I've always been a Selena fan since I can remember back when I was a kid. So I
Mhm.
remember I was in my grandpa's room and I didn't know that she got shot in the morning. I didn't find out until the night news came on. I think it was either the 9 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news that
Mhm.
came out, and I saw that she had died. And my grandma was crying because I don't even think she knew that she had died. Um, my grandma didn't really watch much TV. She was always kind of outside or like my we lived in a family oriented neighborhood, so like everybody was family. So she had her cousins across the street and stuff. So she wouldn't really watch TV until the nighttime or sometimes during the day. But I remember her crying. I don't remember what my grandpa did, but um, I didn't cry. I remember I didn't cry, but it was kind of shocking
Mhm.
to know that she had died. And kind of like a lot of other people who are around my age that didn't really know her too well, but we knew who she was
Mhm.
and we knew her music. Because right away, once you hear Como La Flor and Bitty Bitty Bam Bam and Dreaming of You, and like all those big hits, um, it sticks to you. So yeah, it was a bit shocking. What about you? Where were you?
I was actually in middle school. It was a Friday, I believe, and I was in art class, and I had the privilege of seeing Selena a couple of times, and um, one of my uncles was actually a bodyguard for Emilio and did some stuff with some Selena, and has come out on some commemorative pictures
Hmm.
um, of that. And yeah, I was in art class, and it came over the radio like 90, like at the time, I don't even know it was 98.5 The Beat. It might have been something else, but it was a pop channel. It was a pop channel. It wasn't even a
98.5.
Tejano channel. And they're the ones that said, Selena Quintanilla Perez dead at the age of 23. And it was like, what? Like we
Yeah.
were all like, we just saw her because some of my friends had just seen her. Um, All-Star Weekend. They had a back to school event that they gave us a voucher for, and
Hmm.
Selena had played. And that's where some of us had seen Selena. I had seen the Body of Boys and Selena. And then, of course, my mom worked with the Tejano Music Awards for many, many years. And I was got to be part of that with her and used to go to all the awards and stuff. And yeah, that's when I
You're
found out.
lucky. I never got to experience that.
No?
I was too young. Yeah, no. My dad would go to Tejano Explosion, and he would go to him and my aunt would go to Fanfare and
Oh
all
yeah.
that stuff. But they would never take us. It was, I guess, it was too rowdy down there.
Nope. I
So,
was thrown in the mix, man.
and there was too many of us. There's seven of us.
As a matter of fact, Far West uh, Rodeo, which was a big time club, or Graham Central Station.
Yeah.
Those Tejano clubs. Yeah, I was in there when I probably shouldn't have been.
Same.
Uh, I
Yeah, I
was
did
I
a
was
lot
in there
of
backstage. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been there.
I did
But
a lot of
yeah, and I
18-year-old
remember
tricking.
we also were big bingo fans.
Yeah.
You guys have been bingo fans a long time. We actually that night we were at bingo, and everybody was glued to the portable radios.
Hmm.
Um, I had somebody that had a little portable TV, and they were trying to watch the news and try to see if we'd get any updates. And I remember um the rumor was that Emilio's wife had killed her. That always stuck out with me.
I've
That
heard that in the past.
yeah, it was that Cindy had did it, and no, mm-mm. I knew that was a lie. But
That's what you call a rumor.
yeah, yeah. But I remember everybody was saying it. I was like, no, like you guys are tripping, you know. And you know that's what it showed to. What I like about the documentary is it showed actual um the Larry, the hostage negotiator, comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right. He is right. She didn't have time to like think of a lie when she was saying, "Hey, I felt threatened." Blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Okay, if she was threatened, okay, who cares? That's your opinion. You were getting fired. Blah blah blah. But like he said, you pointed the gun, and you didn't. You said you pointed the gun. You said you
Hmm.
shot her. You said, you know, he knew. He knew.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool that they had him on there to kind of give us the whole situation of that, and some of the actual footage or
I wish they would have used his actual voice like they did in these episodes on the movie. Not necessarily him. I mean, it would have been nice, but um, or to get somebody to act him, or just like from the face, from the mouth down,
Mm-hmm.
him talking to her on the phone, integrated her on the
You know,
phone. That would have been nice.
you say that, but in a way, when I watch the movie, I always turn that part off. And
Yeah.
it's not because of that, and we all know the outcome. It's more because the whole movie was made about her, like
Hmm.
how she got started. I don't need to see the ending. Like we all know what happens at the end.
Yeah.
But to see, maybe just skip that part and go to the record sales of like Dreaming of You and all that. Totally skip
Hmm.
the part. Yes, we know she dies. Okay, that's good. I wouldn't have even shown Yolanda in the truck in the movie. Like I wouldn't even shown that.
I think her dad had made a comment on not a documentary. It's more like an interview, I guess you could say, where he said that he didn't want to put that part, that he had told them to take it out,
Yeah.
and that his sister or somebody had mentioned it to him, like, hey, as much as you don't want to put this in the movie, it happened. And it's not that we're focusing on that, it's that we have to show what happened, unfortunately. And like you said, everybody knows what happened to her. So um, I think he did a really good job saying what he could say
Mhm.
the best that he can.
You know,
He
and
got emotional.
yeah. And I just thought of something that we just talked about that you just said right now. She had to you put it in because it's part of the story. Actually, now that I think about it, that movie still comes out every year.
I think that it comes out on BET too.
All the Yeah, it comes out on every channel. I
A
mean,
and
I've
E.
seen it on a ton of channels. TNT,
Yeah.
I've seen it on BET, I've seen it here and there. But it also, I think now that it came out like that, it also helps the younger generation understand like truly what happened. So if you
Hmm.
don't put it in, like you just said, you were 5 years old, but you're a
Yeah.
huge Selena fan and a Tejano fan. Had you not seen that, you really wouldn't have known what happened.
Yeah. Or get an aspect, or kind of put yourself in their shoes, because they kind of put it in real life. The police moving around. They have an actor in the truck. I'm not sure if that's the actual footage or not, but it kind of looks like it. If it's not, then they did a damn good job.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
So I think that then they did a damn good job in recreating the scene. I'm pretty sure that was um, a sad part in time of recording that scene, of course, but he did a really good job. When he got emotional, it kind of got me a little bit. I'm like, oh man. And I think that's on the first episode where he got emotional, and actually early is when
Mhm.
and he's in the second series too. So they keep him throughout the whole thing, the two-part series. Besides her
Over 6
cousins,
hours.
yeah,
I mean, that's just
it was
insane.
it was daylight and then nighttime when they finally. And then what I I kind of went
Sorry.
off with it, but what whenever they I'm gonna jump to the end. Whenever they're telling her, like, get out of the truck, put the gun down, and she gets out of the truck and the door is open and you see the police. I don't think she saw the police officer coming
Hell yeah.
from the side of the truck. I had never seen that.
Me
I didn't
neither.
know that they tackled her. So
Man,
to
that
actually see live footage, and she steps towards the back of the truck and they
damn, that would
boom,
have
they
been
shut the
funny had that
door.
SWAT guy hit her with a door though.
Oh, she kind of would. That would have been the least of her what she deserved, but um, to feel a little bit of pain besides internal or heartache, because I'm pretty sure um that it hurt. That she died. If she didn't mean to kill her, then okay.
Yeah.
But you killed her.
Mhm.
If you thought that maybe you were gonna shoot her in the shoulder, because they said she got shot pretty much by the blade, and it ricocheted
Yeah.
and clipped an artery. So they said somewhat. Oh, and this is on a whole totally different thing that I saw throughout the years, kind of like my own investigative work, right? Yeah, but I think it was a documentary on A&E or like 2020 or something like that. I'm not sure actually. When we're done here, I'm gonna look it up to see where I saw that. But I remember seeing another documentary over the years where they said, you know, she didn't. It wasn't a straight through shot. It's not what killed her. It's the shot ricocheted through her body, clipped the aorta, I think it was, and she bled out. That's the reason why she died.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I just I you know, you shoot your friend, okay, your so-called friend.
hmm
The minute something happens to a friend, I don't care if it's your best friend, your friend, whatever, you run towards them to go help.
yeah,
And that always gets me. Like, I don't give a shit if somebody's firing a gun. I'm going to run towards them to go help them. And if you shot your friend by mistake, okay, you drop the gun and you run towards
and
them
you freak out, right?
and you
Yeah,
freak out and you go help them. You make sure that they're okay. You don't run to your vehicle and
lock
whether
yourself
you
in it.
yelled, whatever you yelled, you don't run to your vehicle. You run to your friend. You drop the gun and you run to your friend. I
Isn't
mean, there's
there
just,
sorry, isn't there a video of her running in or something in the lobby? I
yeah.
know that they don't show like the whole thing of
Mm-mm.
her collapsing and stuff, but I know that they said that they had it on video. I know they did a reenactment, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if I've actually seen. I may have. They may have shown like some of the video
You know,
on.
if they were, even if they were just meeting, you know, to end things or whatever else, um, or if she was still working for her or whatever,
hmm
you know, the thing that's always stuck out with me was there was something about a doctor's appointment that Selena took her to, and that was the last straw. I
That was
never knew
bullshit. Yeah.
until this that Yolanda said she was assaulted and raped
hmm
or whatever. And that's what started this, this hotel meeting is she took her to go get checked out,
hmm
took her back to the hotel, and then this happened. I don't remember that as a kid. I don't even remember ever hearing that. I mean, bits and pieces maybe, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought they just met up.
they don't show that or say that in the movie.
Not in the movie. Yeah, you're
That's.
right.
I think it's an actual crucial part
Yeah.
or a very important part. So, which is going to be the reason why they met up at the hotel. You know, in the movie, they just kind of make it seem like, oh, well, you know, she just went over there to pick up financial records, but that wasn't the issue. She was already having issues with her saying like, "Oh, I got assaulted. They sexually assaulted me, or whatever the case may be." And then they, like in the series, they say, "Well, oh, you know, I got sexually assaulted, or somebody tried to rape me," and she takes her to the hospital, and she's like, "Yolanda, you're lying. You're
Mm-hmm.
lying." And you know, not even in the series do they say like she has bruises. At least I don't remember. Do you remember if they said that she has bruises in the series?
In
Because
the
I
in
think
the
it's a little bit more
series,
detailed.
in the Selena series, as in like the one on Netflix or like the
hmm
movie, no. And again, I wouldn't want to know that. Like I wouldn't want Selena's legacy based on that.
Yeah.
Like I don't like I said, I wouldn't have wanted to see her get shot in the movie. I didn't like that part. I wanted it out, but again, if it's somebody like you just now watching the movie, you want to know
hmm
like, hey, how did this happen? What truly happened
What
to her or
what
whatever.
was happening in the days
I
going
just want to know the
to
basics. Ooh, that lady shot her. Okay, cool. You know,
You're like, get right to the point.
just
Let's
get
cut
to
to
the
the
point.
chase.
Look, her best friend shot her. Her so-called best friend shot her.
Yeah.
Boom, that's it. End of story. Um, and
I I
and I hate that part. Like,
I like to I think it for me I get really interested. It kind of draws me in more
mm-hmm,
when you're into detail like that, you know. And of course, like we've already been talking about it, like you don't want to know or you don't want to see that part. But since they are going to show it for me, I'm like, well, I'm going to see it anyway.
mm-hmm,
So for them to actually include the part where she said that she got raped and things, um, I was interested. So I'm like, oh, okay. Now I understand why she was there because they didn't say that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then like now in this documentary, they said, well, Yolanda says, well, there was two things. I gave her the paperwork or whatever that she had said that she had went to go get, but I told her that there was a briefcase in the truck and it was unlocked that she never went to get. What I would have liked for them to show, if it was true that she had those documents, why didn't they show that on this documentary?
Mm-hmm.
If they said that she had the documentation in the truck, y'all are showing all this other stuff that's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you show? Because I'm sure that they took a picture of everything inside of her vehicle.
Of course.
Since it's of course it's going to be a crime scene because it belongs to her. Where's that briefcase that with all the other tax documents that she needed? Because that's the reason why that she had went back.
The again, for those of you who didn't watch it, we're giving you snip bits of it
Sorry.
that you probably don't care. I
Yeah.
know a couple of my friends watched and were like, "Ooh, maybe Yolanda's telling the truth." You know, you shot your friend. End of story. Okay, but if you're gonna resign, why didn't you just give the letter to them on the 9th?
I think the second episode is just constantly going over what they had already talked about in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told my partner today, and he was like, "Well, I haven't watched the second episode, so don't tell me about it." I'm like, "You're gonna hear the same thing that they said in the first episode, but it's just a little bit more into detail or a breakdown of what happened or what was mentioned in the first episode. You're not getting much any more difference."
Mm-hmm.
So I think the second episode was irrelevant or not even needed. I was kind of tired of the first episode, but I watched the second episode to see again what she had to say.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I was really interested or anything in this series. I just kind of wanted to see what kind of bullshit she was going to bring out of it, and it didn't surprise me whatsoever.
My friend Art, he just commented, the police messed up. They didn't look inside the safe until 3 days later.
Hmm.
That
Which was her
that
purse.
is a big f up.
Yeah,
That definitely is. I totally agree with that. Like how do you not secure the whole crime scene?
the crime scene. Yeah.
You know?
Well, they said something after the crime scene was cleared,
Mm-hmm.
or after they said something about after the hotel wasn't a crime scene anymore. I think is what
Mm-hmm.
they said. The detective said, and I'm like, dude, you really need to watch your words because you're giving people the wrong impression or making people wonder, and as if they're not already wondering because we don't know exactly what happened, right? As the author of the book, I think it was Selena como la Flor or something like that, right? The older
Mm-hmm.
gentleman. He was like, "You weren't there. I wasn't there. The police officers, they weren't there. Yolanda and Selena were there. Selena's dead. Yolanda knows the truth, but she's not going to say it. How can you miss the safe?
How can you miss
It
what's in the
wasn't cleared.
purse? How can you miss, you know? It
It,
either
it
way.
wasn't cleared. You have to. Everybody messes up, but you have to. In this kind of thing, in a murder, somebody's life, you have to be specific and very. You just have to look and be careful. There's multiple people. How did they not see the save?
You know, like as we're talking about this, again, do you think it's going to put reasonable doubt into the parole board to let her out?
Hmm.
No.
She's
I
not getting
mean,
out.
I man, 2025.
They
Woo!
can't come fast enough, right?
I know.
I
I
don't think we're gonna be
know.
able to sleep the night before. It's like knowing you're gonna get your income tax the night before and you can't wait for it to drop.
It better be like world news. It better be on every channel.
Oh,
She
it's
didn't
gonna
get
be.
paroled. Okay. Yeah. We go back
Yeah,
to celebrating.
it's gonna be.
But it to me, you shoot her, you pay the price. 25 years, girl, ain't good enough. You better stay in there.
Uh, well, I'm glad that she ain't really seen much of the sun of the bright daylight because the minute that somebody even sees her, she gets caught even trying to go out and get some sunlight, they're gonna whack her.
Mm-hmm. It's
That's just my own
unfortunate,
opinion.
but yeah.
Even her niece had said towards the end of the documentary, she said something in the nature of you know I, if and when she was to get out, I'm not gonna quote it because I don't remember what she said, but so pretty much like if she was to get out, I would like for her to enjoy the little bit of life or a little bit of time she has left on this earth. And I'm like, why does she get to enjoy it? Selena's dead.
Uh-huh.
You took a life, and you expect for your aunt to enjoy the rest of her life. I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
When her family has to go the rest of their lives while their daughter pretty much rots in the ground, because you took her life. And I don't mean any disrespect by it, but you know, that's what happens with our bodies when we're put in the ground, So it, it you took this person's life, which was an inspiration to so many people. And unfortunately, now people have to, watch videos and pictures and concert videos and things because you killed her. And now they
Mm-hmm.
have to look up to those videos and take after those videos, and she's a memory. So
You're absolutely right.
you don't get to get out and enjoy the little time you have left. You get to rot in that jail and you get to die in that cell, whenever that day comes. I think that's my perspective and my opinion about it.
I agree with
I
you. And she should have kept these little secrets to herself.
To your little grave that you're gonna have.
Of course, you got to make some money. You got to give your family something cuz that's what it's about.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
what final plea can I make to the parole board and see if I can put a bias or unbiased attempt to get out.
I,
Um the people that came out in it, good luck. Like I feel sorry for you. I really do. I feel sorry for your aunt that you're in this situation with your aunt, but now you just came out on TV and let everybody know who you are.
and I think they
Um
live here in San Antonio too.
and
So
that you live here in San Antonio.
good luck to
And
that.
n-
She's not somebody that can be missed.
yeah, yeah. It's probably
She,
like on Facebook somewhere in the deep
you know,
dark Facebook that hey, Tina is friends with da 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 da.
so I
You
thought that
can't be
I've met
friends with
this
her no
lady
more.
before. She looked familiar to me, and I'm like, oh God, I know this lady. You know how we know a lot of people in San Antonio, especially in the
We're
Tejano
gonna know that one
industry.
friend that knows her. We're gonna know that
Yes.
one friend that knows that guy, or one friend. Yeah, we're gonna know it.
I the one that was the niece that was talking the most. I thought I recognized her, and I'm like, I know her from somewhere. I've seen her somewhere. So I'm like, don't let her be one of my patients. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm not ugly like that, but whatever.
So one of my let's see here. I think one of my I'm looking at the comments on the show. Her dad actually had to leave his job when he was alive because of her. I believe it. I believe it.
Wait, read that one again. I didn't understand
Um,
that one.
I guess Yolanda's dad had to leave his job because you know,
Because of Yolanda?
yeah.
I've never heard that.
And her dad
Was
was
that
the
on?
sweetest person you've ever met. Patty, if you are listening, did you know him? I mean, I know you're listening, but did you know him personally? I would love to know this if you knew him.
I agree.
And if you did, I want you to call me right now and tell me if you did. I
um,
know you're listening.
while
I
we're
want
waiting
you
for
to
her
call
response,
me. Okay, call me, Patty, right now, and we'll we'll put you in on here.
I remember on this series where she talked about her mom, and it was very brief. I don't remember exactly what she said about her mom, but and her sister, which I guess she had passed away because they were speaking in third party about Yolanda's sister. I guess that passed away because she was like, "Well, mom used to, and mom said this, or mom had told us that." So, but I didn't hear anything about her dad.
Yeah, Patty, if you knew him, give me a call. I wanna know how you knew him. I
Oh,
want
here
to
comes the
know this.
cheese. Here comes the cheese man.
The cheese man.
Let's
No.
let's do it.
I mean, it just it's you're probably calling me and I so sorry. Okay. If you're calling me, go ahead. Get through. Ah, you did call me. Patty, if you're listening, I'm calling you right now. I really want to know. And inquiring minds want to know. Patty, are
Since
you
we're
there?
on this subject,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. No, no, can you hear
Oh,
her?
I can hear
can you
her.
hear me?
All right, Patty. So
Okay. So
you
he used to yeah, we used to know him. He actually when I first met him I was probably like 8 or 9,
uh-huh.
and he used to work at the Sears Service Center off of 410 at the Ingram Sears Service Center. We had our tires got messed up when we were younger, right? So my mom was trying to fix her tires, and he happened to be the guy who was helping us with the tires and was real sweet, gave her a good deal because he knew her situation. And like he was like, if there's anything you ever need, let me know. Well, then I guess he left that job and started working at Miquetta. And so when he started working there, uh, no, not Miquetta, I'm sorry, Hakala. He worked at Hakala for
oh
years.
wow.
He every Thursday we would go to Hakala to
Mm-hmm.
go meet with my mom's friends, and he was our waiter every Thursday.
And
So
this was before or after
before before she did
did
what she did.
did what she did. Okay.
Yeah. So I knew him pre Selena. Like when and he would mention his kids. He loved his kids. He'd always talk about his kids, and then when we got older, he mentioned that his daughter was friends with her. But he was very prayerful, like always prayed for us, always was so sweet. Every time we came in, he would say hi. He knew who we were. Like he was the nicest person. And then when we went back one time, we asked about him, and one of the other waiters said no, he had to quit because he was getting a lot of hate for
And where
because of
where
her
was this?
At a restaurant Hakala.
and
Hakala.
He
Hakala.
was the waiter.
Oh.
So I mean that's what I'm saying. These people came out on this episode, and how do you not expect San Antonio or anybody to say, damn, like you don't go messed up too. Like
Yeah. Well, it's sad because they were so like I mean, again, I don't know her family and I didn't know her, but him I knew, and he was always like the nicest. Always had a smile on his face. Always greeted you, act like he knew who you were, even if he didn't know who you were. He was just that type of person, just the nicest guy. Like you wanted him as your waiter because
Well,
you know,
it's kind
he
of
was
crazy
like
that she says
nice.
that
A bit. A
because
lot of the waiters at Hakala were, but and they're older. You know, they'd been there for years. So
go ahead, Nona.
it's kind of crazy that she says that because as a part in the series, I think it's the second episode where her no, it might have been the first episode where her nieces say, you know, she was the nicest aunt. She was so loving and caring, and she'd do anything for us. And so now when she says something like that, you know, your parents, you're a reflection of your parents. Sometimes I say
Exactly.
so. It kind of leads me to believe that maybe she was a nice person at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
At that. If not, then maybe she was a nice person overall. It's just hard to believe because of her actions. And there's no paper trail. There's no evidence. There's no video. All we hear on these episodes are voicemails, recordings, and letters. Right? Anybody could have written a letter.
Yep.
We hear those voicemails from Selena, right? And we can obviously tell it's Selena. But how many voicemails did Yolanda leave on Selena's answering machine? Why didn't they use any of that if she was such a nice person, right? Because I'm pretty sure that there's no voicemails out there
Yeah.
that are probably recorded or destroyed.
Of course. I mean,
So
I
now
want
I'm
to
just
thank
kind
my
of like
cousin
50
Patty
50.
for chiming in and giving us a new perspective into,
It,
you
it
know,
literally
this
just,
side that
thanks, Patty, because you got me.
yeah. I mean, you got us because we,
Hmm.
you know, we're pissed off. You killed our
We are.
queen. But
We are. I'm fucking pissed.
you know, it's so crazy though. Like it's just insane like to think 25 years later, here
Hmm.
we are talking about it still. You know,
Hurting still.
it still does hurt. Um the Alamo Dome was set to put on a major event to commemorate the whole Selena thing. Um it was a commemoration of her birthday, or would have turned 50, I think it was. Elida was gonna play La Diferencia. Um there was supposed to be a bunch of people there, and I'll never forget it because it was just recent, and the mayor was there to kick it off, a whole bunch of us, and then of course COVID hit, and we didn't get to have that.
Ruined everything.
Ruined everything. We didn't get to have that concert. All these years later, it still hurts. Um, we think about the other Tejano peeps, you know, the Shelly Lareses, the Stephanie Montiel peeps. Those were the people who knew her best. I mean, I've seen
Especially Shelly.
Shelly. I've seen tons of pictures. I mean, tons of pictures with Shelly Lares and her.
Yeah.
Um, I saw one time Shelly Lares was on stage singing with her, or vice versa. She went to a Shelly concert or something like that, and she was singing with
Hmm.
Shelly. You know, they do it all the time. You know,
Uh, I saw Stephanie recently at Stetson, and I'm not sure if she did it because she wanted to do it or if she did it because I had already told her that I was going. She knows how much of a Selena fan I am as of hers. Um, and she sang, I think, like two or three songs from Selena, and she did damn good. And I'm like, girl, you sure as hell shocked the hell out of me.
you know, it's everywhere. Everybody sings them.
Hmm.
Ladez and Lisa.
Yep.
Lisa, damn. I mean, she kills Selena. Like, I shouldn't
She
say that.
really. I don't. I'm like,
Wait a
hey.
minute. I shouldn't say that as we're talking about a documentary. I should not have said it like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
She she can sing some Selena. Like, I shouldn't have said that. I feel
And
bad.
you were still gonna get tongue
Um,
twisted again right now.
you know, but Lisa can belt out some of those Selena mixes because she can do
Hmm.
like 3 or 4 songs altogether.
Honey Andrews.
Oh,
Honey Andrews is a Selena impersonator from Corpus Christi. And I saw recently on her Facebook profile that she met her parents and her sister.
mm-hmm.
I have somebody on Instagram that is, I think she's Colombian or Cuban. I know she's not Puerto Rican, but she's a Selena impersonator that I follow on Facebook that can pull it off because not many people can do that, right?
Mm-mm.
There's one more person, AJ Rivas, who was from here in San Antonio, who does like a Selena impersonator, but he has a whole beard and everything. Doesn't dress like her, but does his makeup, puts on a wig, and that, I think that's pretty cool. You can't, not just anybody can go stand up there and have the balls to do that or the ovaries, right? But
Mm-hmm.
um, you can't just do that. Like it's not
No.
something that you have to takes practice, takes cojones. I know I couldn't do it, so I might jam probably when I'm a little intoxicated, but
Oh yeah, we've done that before. I remember we have done this before. Okay, we have acted like I, yeah, I don't even know if I really want to go there, but we have done some crazy stuff regarding musicians, and I know she's probably one of them, or
yes.
two or three of them. Eddie
Yes.
Gonzalez, Steph.
Hmm.
We've done our own interpretation at our favorite spot, but um, you said you were 5 years old. You don't ever remember going to a concert or anything like that of her.
No, our family didn't really do that. They were more, if they did go somewhere, it was like to bars, small little bars. So I know Selena did play in small little bars back in the day. I think before her big rise in fame. But I know that she played at Fiesta and Fanfare, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and I know she played at the Strawberry Festival.
Yep.
But I don't remember going as a kid.
You know, I thought it was funny today. I was on Facebook, and I saw one of my friends post something about a festival that's coming back. La Semana Alegre
Hmm.
is coming back, and Selena performed there. It was, I think, right when she signed with Coca Cola. She performed there. They had these huge Coca Cola banners and stuff, and I'll never forget it. It was at Hemisphere Park. It was one of the coolest things to see. But I will leave. We'll leave with this. No, no. What is your favorite Selena song?
Oh God, you're gonna put me on the spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh, I like Besitos, and it's
Hmm.
not a song that's very popular. I think that's what makes it even better because when you hear Besitos, you're like, that voice kind of sounds familiar for those who probably don't know the song.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear Como la Flor, Bidi Bidi Bom Bom, La Cargacha, you hear Ya Ves, all those big hits.
Mm-hmm.
Even the small songs were big hits. The song with the Los Barrio
Yep.
Boys
Donde quiere que esté.
was, that was a big hit. And everybody probably didn't think that it was going to be a hit because they're so used to her singing by herself majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You hear Tu Solo Tu and it's a hit. When you hear Besitos, you're like, wow, that's Selena? Oh my God. And it's a cumbia.
Yep.
So that's one of my all time favorites.
I would have to say the Body Boy song is one. Um, Ya No,
Yeah, no.
that kind
Hmm.
of really featured Chris, and La Bamba.
Wow.
She redid La Bamba,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was a little different. It was a
Yeah, you
little
see,
different.
almost the same as me. Is all these songs you wouldn't even expect to hear. They don't really play that much of them because they're not really wow that well known,
Mm-hmm.
and they deserve the same amount of exposure as those other songs.
Mm-hmm. You know what I thought was funny is before Selena died, when McDonald's was super cool, they would do like crazy giveaways at McDonald's. Not
Hmm.
giveaways. I mean, you did have to pay for them, but they would do like these commemorative cups. They did commemorative cups. Oh man, I'm really telling you my age. But they did commemorative cups of like the U.S. Olympic team.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember
Larry
those cups as a
Bird,
kid.
Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. See, I'm going bad. Um,
Yeah, just go
then
ahead
they
and dig
did,
it deeper. I was gonna say dig that hole, but we're talking about Selena here, so I'm like, yeah, that's not really that good either.
but they did. They made CDs and sold them at McDonald's
Hmm. I
of
remember that
Tina
as a kid.
Turner, Selena and the Body Boys, Garth Brooks, and there was one other one, and I didn't buy that other one. So whatever it was, I didn't buy it. I still have those things. I still have them.
I like prove it.
I'm gonna prove it and post it on the Facebook, like the CD cover and all. It's super éxitos. You
We need
know,
proof of
Selena and the Body
this.
Boys, and it had all the some Body Boy songs and some Selena songs on it. Tina Turner had all her hits. I can't believe, like, can you imagine if if you know she would have been around a little longer?
Oh man,
I mean, like even that guy said she was gonna be the next Madonna. I don't know
Madonna.
about Madonna, Gloria Stefan. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Um, she's right up there with like Aaliyah. That her career just got cut short.
Well, yeah, when right when it was taking off, it
Yep.
unfortunately got cut short. And I think that is a perfect example because Aaliyah, even now, you hear "Try Again,"
Mm-hmm.
and that was a good song then. It's still a good song now.
Rock the boat.
"Rock the Boat."
Mm-hmm. AJ, nothing but
Um,
a number.
hmm And then before she passed away, she made that movie with Jet Li.
Mm-hmm.
So that Selena made little appearances. I think where did she? What was it
Yeah,
on?
and
She made
Don
commercials.
Juan.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. She was a mariachi singer.
but Aaliyah made a whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Selena didn't get that opportunity to do that, which kind of sucks. But you wonder and you think, where would these people be? What kind of people would they be? How big of a star would they have actually been?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be on that rise to fame and it not go so well. So not to be negative, but that's just the reality of it. But I is there anybody even still on to comment on how big of a star Selena would be today if she was still alive?
You know, I I don't see anybody commenting on that, but I would love to know how people rate that. What kind of star would she be today?
Hmm.
Where do they think? You're right. Where do people think she would be? Would she be up there with the Selena Gomez's of the world, the Katy Perry's,
The
um,
Beyonce's,
the Beyonce's? Where would she be? But no, no. It
yeah.
also goes back to the ending. The final moments of whatever this whole meetings and Yolanda helping and going to Monterey and stuff for the boutiques.
Hmm.
It goes back to that. Even if Selena did truly not want to do the music anymore and wanted to step away from the music and focus on the actual design, damn, like what could an artist would have been of that? What could she have
Yeah.
done with that?
I
You
don't think
know,
that I liked her line of work on clothing. She would have been a huge crossover star. Yeah. I think she would have been a megastar, a superstar. Right now she's an icon, is what they name her as. Superstar, a megastar, La Reina de la Cumbia, all that stuff. It's like, what if? I think Selena wouldn't have been singing as much, but to defy her dad, just my opinion.
and that's what we're talking about. Even if she stepped away and did the design, I mean, damn, like
Yeah.
she still had good stuff. Hey,
And
I
her whole
owned a
album was a
piece.
hit at one time.
I owned
Oh,
some Selena stuff at
back
the
in the day
time. A skirt.
that
I
you don't
did,
have anymore.
yes. I
You don't have
did.
it
I
anymore.
owned a skirt. Can you believe that?
You don't
A
have it anymore.
skirt? No. And maybe I should have held on to it just to hold on to it. No,
For real.
idiot. It would not have fit me right now.
Yeah,
If
but to
that's where you're trying
actually
to get at.
see, you know, it's different now because yeah, they have her boutique or her fashion line now of her clothes at the museum.
Mhm.
But to actually have was this piece that you had when she was alive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How
I
many
went.
people out there actually have
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that
I went
piece
to
of?
the boutique numerous times. Um, I even bought some stuff after the fact. Um, I have um, actually one of the most precious things I do have is a Selena Those Dinos hat that the year after Suzette was at fanfare
Mm-hmm.
and my school had made some buttons. We were making buttons for I don't know what, and we could sell them for our school project or whatever. And I made 3 extra Selena buttons, and I ended up giving them to Suzette because one of them was a picture of her and Selena,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave them to Suzette, and Suzette signed my hat and put this amazing little script on there. And I forever I'm looking at it right now. It's put away, but you know, like I said, even if she stepped away from the music, which hey, we've seen Stephanie Montiel design some of her own outfits,
Mm-hmm.
bedazzle her own shoes, and it makes you like these girls are talented. They're talented. So whether you know we saw this on the main stage or what,
And it
you
doesn't
never
even have
know.
to be like fine art or perfect. Look, Selena had that bustier
Mm-hmm.
that she has one of the sides. I think it's the right side that's completely full,
Mm-hmm.
and she ran out of rhinestones.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, was that the actual intent of doing it that way? They're like, no, she just ran out. Like they say it like nothing. Oh, she
Yeah.
just ran out of rhinestones, so she just didn't even get any more. And it's a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like who would have known something that simple would have been that big? And I think people use that bustier, that concept of the bustier, in so many outfits
Mm-hmm.
of Selena impersonators or people who dance as her or dress up as her, like even say for Halloween. They use that little concept where her one of the sides is not full.
Even the purple outfit
Hmm.
that she wore
This
at
one,
the rodeo.
wait, that one,
Yeah, that one. Hey, you got your Selena thing. Yeah,
yeah, sure
that
do.
one. I've seen other versions of it
Hmm.
on people nowadays.
Blue, green. I think they even
Mm,
made a pink one that I saw once.
never know. You know what was funny to me is as you talk about what shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or what she would have been
Hmm.
if Selena was still alive. Is there a Jennifer Lopez?
There would have been, I think, in my own opinion, because her movies were good. I think she made Anaconda before she made Selena, right?
Nope.
Was it afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
There's a movie that Jennifer Lopez made, which was a hit, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
The
um,
only real thing Jennifer Lopez, I believe, was in before Selena was that show, Living Color. She was a dancer.
now I'm gonna be thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the kind of stuff. Do you see Jennifer Lopez in the position she is now if she doesn't come out as Selena?
I would say 50-50.
Do
Yes
you
and no.
see
I'd be kind of be torn.
Jacob Vargas, who played AB in the Selena movie? Do you see him on TV anywhere else? Mm-mm.
Mm, no, not necessarily.
No,
John, I think the only one who's kind of made it is
the
the
guy
guy
that
who played
played
her dad
Chris. But if
and
he
John
didn't play
Cena.
Chris, if he doesn't play Chris, we don't see him on Chicago PD.
Hmm.
We don't. You
And
wouldn't see
he
him on
was on
Chicago
Oz. I
PD.
like Oz.
Mhm.
He was on Oz for a little bit.
Oh wow! Before or
Yeah,
after Selena?
I believe it was after Selena.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was one of the
it's
gangsters off
just kind
that.
of weird. I mean, it's sad to think about it like
Yeah,
that, but I just don't think there's a lot of other superstars if it wasn't for her.
yeah, I agree. I'd
And
be iffy. I'd be iffy. Like, maybe I'd kind of be torn 50-50.
I mean, because Ricky Martin, yes, Ricky Martin would have been around. Because you think about back in that time, like the 90s, it was Ricky Martin, uh,
Enrique Iglesias,
Mark Anthony,
Mark Anthony.
and Jennifer Lopez.
Hmm.
I think it'd still be Ricky Martin, Mark Anthony, but there would be no Jennifer Lopez. because
Probably
Jennifer
not.
Lopez wouldn't have even thought about singing if it wasn't for the Selena movie. I don't
Hmm.
think. I could be
I
wrong.
think I think she did a damn good job anyway. So
Yeah. I mean,
it's hard, you know. You see some of these people, and it's like you have to impersonate this person. You're making a movie about this person, and I've seen the making a few times of Selena, and you see how the way she moves, even the slightest move, the finger,
mm-hmm.
and it didn't help that she had red nails majority of the time and
Mm-hmm.
red pops. So
And
any little finger movement, any way she pointed, any way she spoke with her hands, like you see the red.
mm-hmm.
Not really white. It's more red that kind of pops out. So it's like, she did this kind of number, like, and it's red or
Mm-hmm.
like a dark color. So I think she did a damn good job. So I'll tap my hat off to her.
Yeah, I remember I had heard like how many hours she would practice the Selena
She went to live with
movements, the
them. Yeah.
Selena, how many times she watched the last Selena concert. And I tell you
Mm.
one thing, I was there in the Alamo Dome for that
For
making.
the
It
recording,
was insane.
I
I
heard
mean,
that people had to get there like a whole day ahead.
mhm.
Wow,
Yeah. You were
that's
there a
crazy.
while, but it was fun. I mean, the other entertainment that was there, um, that we got to see. And speaking of that other entertainment, there's no Becky Lee Mesa. There's no Jennifer Pena.
Well, she's coming back, so.
She's coming back. But those two, you don't ever see them or hear them if it wasn't for Selena.
Hmm.
You know, Becky Lee, of course, played little Selena in the movie, but Jennifer Pena was somebody who happened to be singing a Selena song, and Mr. Quintanilla saw her and put her in part of the showcase
Hmm.
event. But that doesn't happen if Selena's gone. You know,
Yeah.
so to think how many other careers she inspired. I've Katy Perry has talked about how Selena was a part of her. Eva Longoria has talked about it. Um,
Beyonce, when she was in the
Beyonce,
series,
it,
uh,
I think in the docu series isn't there a little tidbit where she runs into Beyonce
the
in the
very end.
docu series, right?
Hmm.
I think they put that in
It's
there. I thought it
it's
was
in the
cool
Netflix series.
in the Netflix series. Yeah,
Hmm.
I thought it was cool that they did that.
Hmm.
Because Beyonce backed that up, and then to be able to put that in there, that was a cool little tidbit. Hey, Selena did acknowledge her, met her, inspired
Even if
her.
it was very brief.
Yeah, yeah, it was something pretty cool to see.
Becky G, when she did that whole Selena piece in her concert, I think it
Uh
was
huh.
her the background
Mm-hmm.
of her dance
Mm-hmm.
thing platform was like a toy, like a story, like a
Mm-hmm.
toy house, and she did a couple of Selena songs,
Yeah.
which was pretty nice. If you ever get the time to YouTube that, if you haven't seen it, yeah, it's on YouTube. That's nice. Yeah,
So
she
do
did
we do we ever see the Cumbia Kings, the Cumbia All Stars,
all
or
17 names.
whatever we want to call them? They don't exist either. I
Or
don't think.
whatever they are now. I haven't really seen. Uh, to be honest, and not to offend anybody who watches it, but I really wasn't of a fan of the Cumbia Kings or the Cumbia All Stars or the Cumbia King All Stars. I don't even know what they are now. They have so many different names. But I was a fan of the song Dulce Niña,
Mm-hmm.
but that's it. Out of all the music that they made, that was the only song that I got. I
I
did
could.
like I did like the version of Baila esta cumbia that AB made at the I think it was like the 10-year anniversary.
Uh huh. He remade
She's
it.
like
Mhm.
penciled in. Yeah, that I think that was pretty badass. But
I can see AB producing other people's music. I can see that, continuing like with Pete Astrodillo and a bunch of other artists. I don't know if the other Cumbia All Stars and whoever else, the DJ Kanes, the Frankie J's, and all that start if Selena wasn't here.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I really don't know.
Mm-mm.
Does
Uh,
Tejano music carry on if she was still here? You think it would have been still strong because it has died off.
a lot.
But do you think she would have carried that torch, or again, being that she goes to the fashion, does it still kill the Tejano part?
If she was still alive, I think that she would have a major role in the industry
Mm-hmm.
and influencing a lot of younger, especially girls, um, that want to sing, that want to be her, not just her dying and like, oh, like I idolize Selena, and they kind of sort of take the or go that route and don't a lot of people give up, so it's kind of hard in the music industry. So, but I think if she was still alive, she would definitely influence younger singers, especially girls or women, to reach for that dream because they did a whole lot of work, and it takes, from the looks of it and the sound of it, it takes work. I don't know if I could do that, but
I
when you
enjoy
got a dream,
seeing
you got a
Shelly
dream.
Laris these days, you know, giving back and working. Patsy Torres too. I mean, Patsy Torres, Shelly Laris, they're working with people at UTSA now to kind of get that music going again. Whether it is Tejano or not, I don't know, but music in general, they're working with that, and it's always good to see that. But again, if you did not catch the Selena Yolanda true crime documentary, we broke a little bit down for you, just a little bit, gave you a little tease. Would I watch
we
it again?
all we did was mention the good parts.
Yeah, all we did was mention the good parts. Would I watch it again? No. Like, I'm done.
If I
This is
could
it right
report it,
here.
I would.
Huh?
If I could report it like the way you report a comment on Facebook or Instagram, yeah, I'd report it.
I'm done
What I think
watching
we
it.
I think you might be able to do it like Netflix where you put a thumbs down. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
just
we're
saying.
gonna give it a thumbs down. Just because Yolanda, you still shot her. You killed her.
Yeah,
You need to
you
stay in
killed her.
jail. End of story. We don't believe you.
Team stay in jail. Team no parole.
Yep. That's gonna be our hashtags.
Hashtag murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yep. No, no, it's been fun.
you killed our queen, bitch. Right? That's what she said that
Yeah,
they called
that's
her.
what
But
you
yeah,
said when she was walking out.
yeah,
That's what you called her. So your supposedly friend, that's what you called her. But like I said, no, no, it's been fun. Thank you so much for coming on here.
thank you for
For
having
those of
me.
you who tuned in, thank you. Appreciate it. I hope you guys check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, like us on Facebook, do a couple of these. No, no, you got to come back. We got to talk. You know,
Yeah, let's do it.
Tejano gambling. I don't care. Whatever.
Let's do
Hey,
it.
speaking
Selena
of
Vive.
gambling, before I do leave, Underdog Fantasy, it's a online betting. Check it out. Underdog Fantasy, up to $100 deposit, you get a match using code 6results. Um that's my new little thing. My new little gambling way.
You can win some money.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Just
I know.
watching
I think I
basketball.
I think I used Underdog is the green one, right? With the green logo.
No, it's the little dog right here with the yellow.
The yellow
It's
one.
up here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think
If
I
you
had that
do
one.
use it, hit me up. No, no. But guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys like I said, check us out on Facebook. We appreciate it. Like this video, share it. Give us your thoughts and feedback. I'll still be checking out the comments all night. Love to hear from you guys. So
Yeah,
thanks
you
for
guys
tuning in, everybody.
can add me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook, Richard Hernandez Jr., and tag me on the, if you share it, tag me. I would love to chat with you guys, and me and JD will kind of go back and forth when
Hell
she's
yeah.
not busy, because she's always busy, and so am I. But who's up? Who's not always up for a little bit of talk on
Hell
Facebook?
yeah.
What Facebook will allow. But yeah, you guys add me on Facebook, and then we'll talk about it some more.
Nice. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Have a great evening.
Peace out, guys.